Hello and happy Selection Sunday. Whoa, from Radically Rational and radicallyrational.com. Okay, as the Eagles once said, we can beat around the bushes, we can get down to the bone, we can leave it in the parking lot, but either way, there's going to be a heartache tonight. A heartache tonight, I know. As a matter of fact, multiple heartaches and headaches and migraines in various locales, and one of them might just be Austin, Texas. Longhorn fans, prepare yourselves. Look, don't get me wrong. I see the same thing you see. Texas is a really, really good football team. And I give Sark all the credit in the world because he has completely remade that culture. That's the way Texas ought to play. So is Texas currently one of the 4 best teams in the country? I think you could make a very, very strong case. And keep in mind, the charge of the College Football Playoff Committee is to get the 4 best teams. As a matter of fact, they've gone out of their way to say most deserving has nothing to do with this. Still, the Horns could be on the outside looking in later tonight. So here's what we know. Let's go with what we know. Michigan's in, and that's fine. And Washington's in, and that's fine. And I've heard some people bad-mouthing the Huskies. You know, because they play up in the upper left-hand corner and they play all those night games and they play in the Pac-12, etc. You don't see a lot of Husky football, but there are a lot of college football observers who know a lot more about this season than I do, who will tell you that Washington has actually been the most consistent team all year. And they beat a good Oregon team twice, so I have no problem with the Huskies being in. Now what we gonna do? I wasn't necessarily shocked that Alabama beat Georgia, although I favored the Dogs. But here's what did shock me. Alabama shoved them around. Alabama physically kicked the Dogs' arses. That was impressive. Does Alabama have a case? Of course Alabama has a case. Now, let me confront the obvious, the elephant, if you will. Get it, Alabama? I know that Texas beat Bama head-to-head in Tuscaloosa by double digits the second week of the season. I get that. Head-to-head matters, but it's not everything when there are other considerations. So this is not the lock that Texas should leapfrog ahead of Alabama that a lot of you think it is. Again, I think Texas is one of the 4 best teams. Florida State. It's not their fault, but let's face this, the college football playoff is a television show. It's entertainment. Why do you think the trillions of dollars go down here? And Florida State, with their current quarterback situation, is unwatchable. Now, how about this? They're 13-0, and if they get left out, that would be the first time that an undefeated champion of a Power 5 conference gets left out of the dance, and that might happen. I feel bad for the Noles, but again, it's about the 4 current best teams. You know who else has a case? And this is where the top of your head is going to come off. And especially you SEC conspiracy theory people, which drives me crazy, by the way. Let's look at this from Georgia's standpoint. They'd won 29 games in a row. They had been either number 1 or number 2 all year long. They lose a game to a suddenly very good Alabama team by 3 points. And again, you want to tell me that Georgia's not one of the 4 best teams in the country? Not most deserving. You got to get that out of your head. That's not what this is about. You think there are 4 teams that could beat Georgia? We know there's one because Alabama just did it, but think about that. So we started off talking about the Eagles. Let me move to quantum physics because this is all chaos theory. Get buckled in because in some cases, the top of your head is going to come off today. So I'm just going to try to enjoy the process, as they say. And in the NFL, our Texans, with their biggest game of the year so far as they take on the Broncos in a battle for what looks could be a playoff wild card berth. Here's where I'm coming from. The Broncos have won 5 straight. They're not good enough to win 6 straight. The Texans take that one. And then, so far, the game of the regular season in the NFL. 49ers and Eagles. Eagles are 10-1. Some of those wins have been a little shaky, but they're still 10-1. And the 49ers at their best, the 49ers are the best team I've seen this year, but they have that inexplicable 3-game slide, so who knows? And then tonight, Sunday Night Football at Lambeau Field with the Chiefs and the Packers. That'll be a lot of fun. Jordan Love is really improving for the Packers, but I'm going with Mendiola's Chiefs. Let's all try to have a great day and embrace the chaos. This is fun. It's still the great game. Happy Sunday. We are Radically Rational.